Can you hear it? The October wind. It's the north wind too, because it's coming from the north. And the smells of decaying leaves and earth. Everything that was alive from spring and summer is now going back to the earth and feeding it. The leaves are blowing in little tornadoes all over the cemetery. The cornfields are all down and put away to feed the long winters of animals that we care for, like we would care for ourselves. I can remember putting up canning jars and freezing venison and making sausage. And actually, there were some people doing that yesterday, making venison sausage. And it was just brought me home to when I was a child, when I was a young mother. All those things for each season that we do. Today is my parents' 66th anniversary. 66 years. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. They didn't spend them all together, but they did spend them loving each other. I mean, they didn't spend all the years living together, but I know that they loved each other. They just couldn't live together anymore. I think they each knew too many secrets and harbored too much. Don't hold on to resentment. It's not a good thing. It'll kill you. Just saying. I know a broken heart, I found out yesterday when I had my echocardiogram, is a real thing. You can die from that. So make sure you mend that heart, because it will surely stop beating. And some people don't come back from that. It might take a little while. It may happen right away. I was informed Princess Leia, the lady that played that part, had passed away, and her mother only died 2 weeks or 2 months later. I remember the two. And it was from a broken heart. I think when parents outlive their children and they have children still here, it's we're lingering between two worlds when we're here. The children we're here with get a different parent, and I'm sure we get different children. And it's not the same. It's never going to be the same. And in life, we always say we have to change. But that kind of change, without a person here that had a long life ahead of them, whether it be a child in the womb and hopes and dreams for that baby, or a child that dies at 33, it hurts. It hurts at any age. And when they die a horrible death, and I mean, what isn't horrible about death, no matter what it is? I just think it's horrific to outlive your child. It's not the normal act of how things are done. Usually the seedlings that drop and the acorns that are scattered by squirrels and birds, the seed is planted and the tree lives. If it doesn't learn to bend and bow with the wind, it'll snap and break. It may grow back, but not usually. It just goes back to the earth and feeding it. But that's the order of life. We live and we die. But in between, we are to love ever so deeply, passionately as each season comes into the earth and leaves. That's how much love we should have for one another. It isn't like that because we feel hurt, jaded, resentment, all those feelings that come in. I wish we could all feel happy and on top of the world, but that isn't reality. Reality is life happens, shit happens, and we have to go with it. We have to move along in it, and we have to get to the other side of it if we can. And when we get to the other side and we look down and we see we're maybe scarred, worse for wear, but we've made it and we didn't want to. I've had that happen where I'm still here and I wake up and I'm like, what the hell? Before my son's death, I didn't have a faith of God. I didn't believe in that. I found it to be like a cult to me. And it was very demanding and finger in the chest pointing at me saying, you have to, you better, you are, you aren't. And I said, your God gave me free will and I'm using the liberty of using that. My free will is mine to have, and your God gave that to me. And you have to be okay with that and stop giving me that finger in my chest telling me I can't. Because I absolutely can, and I may. This isn't during the Salem witch trials. This isn't where people. I think about that. I'll tell you, I went home last night and I changed the subject. Coming home, and there's three little ones on the back roads, and they were in black cloaks, girls. And the aunt or whatever was at the top of the hill watching to see if they made it home, and they had no reflectix on their cloaks. They had nothing, but I could see. I kept thinking it might have been a bear. The black of their cloak, it was dark. I got to the other side of the road just in case I had to hit my brakes, and it was three little ones. I got to the top and I seen the person waiting to see if they made it down the hill into the driveway. And then I asked her, I said, can't they sew reflectix on those cloaks so people can see them? I said, that's so dangerous. I thought about the person that might hit them. You know, what that would do to the person that's hitting them, the mothers and fathers that are left behind with those children if they got hit. And they can't sew reflectix in it. They can't carry a I said, I'll give them a flashlight. They're not allowed to. It's a faith. It's how they do things, and it's how it's always been done. Oh, we didn't always have cars that move faster than fast and can hurt little ones. When times change, we have to change with them and to keep our children safe. And then all of a sudden, I see this flash of light. She flashed a flashlight back to let them know that three kids made it to the driveway. I said, well, that's wonderful. Well, why didn't they use the flashlight the whole time so people could see them? That made no sense to me at all. They're not allowed to, they said. They're not supposed to carry them. I'm like, I don't understand that logic because it's not logical to my brain. And that's the differences that we have to be okay with. I wouldn't be okay today if I had hit them three little kids that I thought was a bear. They were all close together, huddled, and they were little. They weren't real big. But they all three were under 10. And somebody was at the top of the hill, about a mile up, maybe 3/4 of a mile up on top of the hill, watching them get to their driveway. And they were told to flash the flashlight when they got to the bottom. Maybe they weren't carrying the flashlight. Maybe it was in the mailbox, or maybe it was, I don't know. But how hard is it to keep our children safe as we can? When you lose a child, I'll tell you. And that was the other thing I learned. Because my brother was toting Amish, came back and forth to their jobs, and he learned some things. He said they don't punish like we do criminals or somebody that kills somebody. If you die, it's a world order of things. That was predestined. You were to die when you're to die, and it has something to do with their religion and their faith. Now, I don't have a religion or a faith, but when my son died, instead of thinking I lost my son when I started healing, I had 33 years with him to love him and be loved by him. 33 years is far, far much more better than having 3 children in the womb that don't make it out. Don't you think? And I was told when I lost my babies that they were needed in heaven. God needed them more than I did. Let me tell you what. That might have been the first time I hated God for aborting my children before I ever got a chance to hold them. So if you tell me your God is against abortion, I'd say some choice words. But it's Halloween and it's my parents' anniversary, and I'm not going to do that. But I certainly want to. My thinking and my logic is different than yours. But I'm open to it, and I'm okay with what you believe as long as you don't infringe and impede on other people, and especially myself, because I wouldn't do that to you. I try to understand, I try to be open-minded, and I try to learn every day, because what I have learned for today may not work for tomorrow if I find something else out. And that's taking in information. And that wind has probably covered my voice right up. And I don't know how to do a voiceover yet. I should get smarter and learn how to do that, shouldn't I? I'm just going to do what I'm doing. It'll be all right. Just saying. Happy Halloween.